Yo, what is up guys, it's Vamp the Servant here with another build video for Lords of the Fallen. Today I'm going to be doing a Wither build that's able to debuff and utterly destroy normal enemies and bosses alike, especially if they're not able to recover their withered health in time. Don't forget to praise the Lord on this fine day. For those who don't know what wither damage is, it's elemental damage that does have sort of a downside to it. So it does extra damage, however it leaves a little white bar on the enemy's health bar, and if they hit you when the bar's there, it'll heal their health as normal health where the white bar is. So you basically have to land 2 hits to get the full damage, but that second hit is just going to do crazy amounts of damage. So the main weapon and the star of the show is the Ravager Gregory sword, which does physical, holy, and wither damage, and has an A+ scaling with strength and radiance. And we'll be using different equipment and buffs to get the most out of our wither damage because this is a wither build. When I first started playing this game, I was kind of looking for wither builds, but I didn't really find much, so I just thought I'd do this. So our main weapon buff, and probably the best buff for all wither builds, is going to be Umbral weapon, which you just need an Umbral catalyst to cast this, and you buy it from Molhu and Skyrest Bridge. It coats the weapon in Umbral magic, which is going to greatly increase our wither damage. And I'll be showing you an Umbral lamp socket that we're going to use to make our charge heavies a lot better and do a lot of posture damage and break enemy stance a lot more. Another one of our main spells, which is a debuff that causes a black cloud around the enemy's head, which will lower their defense and cause us to do even more damage, is Diminishing Missile. This is also an Umbral spell, so it just goes perfect with this build. We are going to have at least one more spell slot, so this is pretty optional, but I picked Umbral Guardian, which this just makes an eyeball that follows you around, and when it's close to enemies, it'll shoot Umbral magic at them, and it does pure wither damage. I do want to note that it doesn't stay there for that long. And this is going to be very important, is the Light Reaper shield in our offhand, because we're going to get mana regeneration from this. In 2 of the slots you're just going to need these runes that give you extra mana regen, because we're going to be using the buff and the debuff on most enemies. So now we're going to get into the runes we have socketed in our weapon and our offhand. In the Gregory sword we're going to have 1 Gravix rune, 1 Satis rune for extra holy damage, and another Gravix rune, which these both just increase the physical damage while two-handing. This just makes the sword a lot better, just adds to our overall damage by a lot. And then, like I was saying earlier, in the Light Reaper shield we're going to have 1 increased elemental defense rune and then the 2 Nartun runes, which these are the most important thing because they, like I said, give you passive mana regeneration. So as we're fighting, we're going to be using the buff and the debuff, and as you're just sitting there fighting with those buffs active, you're just going to get passive mana regeneration, as you can see here. And to get into our equipment, we're going to have the Faceless Carving for our Pendant, which adds wither damage and also fire defense and holy defense. The Aderkamer ring, which you get from Damrose's questline. This increases your damage while two-handing. And the Ring of Knight's Fire, which does additional fire and wither damage, which just complements this build perfectly. We're not really going to be using the fire damage much, but the wither damage helps a lot. So I mentioned this briefly earlier in the video, but it's pretty essential to this build, is the Umbral Eye of Loesch, and you're going to want to put it in your main Umbral socket. This causes our charge heavies to be uninterruptible, and if we do get hit, it'll cause wither damage, which can then be restored when you actually let the charge heavy hit the enemy. I'll show you a little slow-mo right here so you guys could just see how it works. So you start charging the heavy, and if you get hit, it turns to wither damage, and then once you actually hit the enemy, you just get the health right back. This just makes it OP, and also does a bunch of posture damage. I'm just going to show you guys a few more examples in the next couple clips of how this works in real boss fights. It's good on smaller enemies because it launches them in the air and gives you time to either heal or come up with another attack to use. So that pretty much wraps up the main things for this build. You could add different spells if you want. If you want 5 spell slots, you could just pick Umbral spells to use. And it's just going to wither your enemies to death. And if this video helped, go ahead and drop a like and comment. Let me know if you guys use this build. It's absolutely OP. And I'll just let you guys enjoy this last boss fight.